Hey, I'm Jim Search, and welcome to Understanding Upstate, the podcast dedicated to exploring what makes upstate New York such a unique place. Each week, my co-host Rob Adler and I dive into a new upstate topic to better understand what's up upstate. This week, we are discussing the Syracuse icon, institution, Jim Boeheim. Wow, this is going to be a big one. We are talking some real NCAA basketball legacy. We are in the midst of March Madness, or about to be. So who better than to talk about this week than Jimmy B?
Jim, we were talking a little bit off mic, and this guy likes basketball. Like, oh my.
He's really into it. He fucks with it. He definitely enjoys this a lot. You know what I would enjoy though? And I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah. Oh, please.
Let me tell you what would really make me happy is if you folks out there, you speedy freaks and rattlesnake Pete's, are subscribing, rating, and reviewing our show, and share this episode with a friend. Please, for the love of God, put a 5-star review in Apple Podcasts and let us know your favorite upstate location or basketball institution in the review. We got a really great review a while back, so why don't you just indulge us and throw another review over on iTunes for us? Be fantastic.
Look, if you've been with us since at least last week's episode, again, we broke huge news that hot dog festivals are a fucking scam. Like, what other podcast is gonna do that? Come on.
You're not. Yeah, we're giving you the real deal here, the real spill of what's happening in upstate New York, folks.
It's true.
Speaking of which,
my God, your transition game today! Holy shit! These are slam dunks, Jim.
That's a solid pun, given what we're working with here. This is not my first podcast, Rob, nor is it my last, because I'm going to be doing this forever. Well, I have an upstate update. Fresh off the...
Oh, fuck, I jumped the gun. Oh, God, we were on such a hot streak.
And now here we are. We'll take it over one more time.
Take it from Doot. All right.
There it is.
Back in the pocket. We're back.
Yeah. Exactly. So, here I am, a fella hosting a hip-hop trivia night in Brooklyn, New York, over at Beer Wax called Trivmatic. If you live in New York City and you love 90s, early 2000s hip-hop, it's the place to be. It's a great time. So I'm doing my 1-2, getting things set up, and I look out the window, and who do I see? Former guest of the podcast, LaRue Simmons.
Whoa!
On the street.
Crazy.
And I said, "What the fuck, sir? What on earth are you doing here?" And he walked in and said, "Hey, I bounced down to New York City for a couple days and was hitting some vintage stores and decided to come check out your hip hop trivia night." So I said, "Holy shit, man. This is he might be the first Binghamtonian to ever play Trivmatic other than myself."
All right.
I mean, I don't technically play, but
sure. Yeah.
So, shout out to LaRue and the good folk, because he is the one-man army over at Stellar Human, 159 Washington Street in Binghamton, New York. Just moved into a new location, and this would be a great time to plug a great event that's coming up there very shortly, and that is Stellar Presents. It's a comedy show. It's going to be a great time. I'm going to be headlining that joint. My guy, Josh Alba, is going to be featuring. Stephen Brown's going to be hosting that, and it is happening March 28th. The doors at 6:30, and the show is at 7, and the link for tickets will be in the show notes. If you don't be a late ticket market person like I've seen some folks be. Yes, you can buy tickets at the door, but they're $25. If you buy the ticket now, they're $20. Save yourself the money. Buy the ticket for the show. Anywho, great upstate update. LaRue did well.
Oh, nice.
He scored. He got a pretty decent score for the level of intensity that Trivmatic can be sometimes.
Jim, would you say I've ever gotten a decent score at Trivmatic?
You've done all right.
Okay,
you've done all right.
That's a very democratic response.
You've you met the questions with some enthusiasm.
Jim, I don't know if I've said this to you before. I may have, but in the under 40 bracket, I'm fucking killing it. I'm killing it.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's a very niche part of Trivmatic, I'll say, because there is some 40-somethings in that crowd.
That's true. I can only say that for a few more years, so I got to hold on to something, you know?
Yeah. And it's good. Listen, if I were playing Trivmatic and I could trade being not in my 40s for the score,
sure.
be a good trade. I'll be honest with you, man.
Jim, I'd take that trade.
Yeah, it's a solid deal. So anywho,
hey,
that is
speaking of solid deals, we got a solid episode on Jim Boeheim.
Man, listen, Jim Boeheim, like we were saying before, man, is a true upstate icon as far as college basketball goes, and basketball in general, man. We're going to talk about his accolades, and I will say, and I've said this before on the podcast, but I had a very complicated relationship with Syracuse basketball. There was a good stretch where I didn't fuck with it, and I didn't fuck with the Syracuse Orange because one of my enemies went to Syracuse University, and I said, fuck that school and fuck everything it stands for. However, I have bent the corner on that and softened my stance on Syracuse, the institution. So, little background. Safe to say that I am clearly, because I brought this as the topic for this week.
Sure.
I would hope that I have some positive feelings for Jim Boeheim and Syracuse basketball. Well, that being said, shall we dive into the world of Jim Boeheim?
I think we shall.
Let's get to it. James Arthur Boeheim Jr., a.k.a. Jim Boeheim, a.k.a. Jimmy B., born November 17th, 1944, is an American former college basketball coach and upstate legend, current special assistant to the athletic director at Syracuse University. From 1976 to 2023, 5 years before I was born, fun fact, he was the head coach of the Syracuse Orange men's team for the ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference. Boeheim guided the Orange to 10 Big East Conference regular season championships, 5 Big East tournament championships, and 34 NCAA tournament appearances, including 5 Final Four appearances and 3 appearances in the national title game. Wow. Wow is right, man. That is a fucking resume. In those games, the Orange lost to Indiana in 1987 and to Kentucky in 96, before defeating Kansas in 2003 with All-American Carmelo Anthony. And I watched that game, and that was an incredible feat of basketball because we had Syracuse Orange hitting three-pointers from like half court and shit. It was getting wild.
Dang.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. And yeah, we watched that game, and it was such a huge moment for Syracuse basketball. And I will say there was a point where some folks were like, "Man, Carmelo," because this is his first year at Syracuse. It was like, "Carmelo, you need to stay another year," and he was like, "Absolutely not. I will be immediately going into the NBA because what will happen is if I do stay in college ball and I injure myself,
yeah,
there will be no future."
Whole lot of nothing.
As much as Jim Boeheim would want him to stay, I have the feeling that as his coach and as an impromptu mentor, etc., he would say, Carmelo, you need to go to the NBA because that is the wave. All right. Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled program, Jim Boeheim. He served as an assistant coach for the United States men's national basketball team at the Summer Olympics. That's pretty crazy. 2008, 2012, 2016, and the FIBA World Championship 1990, 2006, and 2010. To the shock of no one, Boeheim was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame September 2005. Boeheim intended to retire in 2018, but the departure of expected successor Mike Hopkins for the head coaching position at Washington would keep him at Syracuse until his eventual retirement in 2023, which I can only imagine that Syracuse came to a grinding halt in the streets. Stores closed, were shuttered, flags were at half-mast, and it was a solemn day in Syracuse history because, folks, I'm telling you shit you already know if you live in upstate New York, but basketball in Syracuse and sports in Syracuse is SU. The orange flags are official. Mm-hmm. Anywho, during the 2021-22 season, Boeheim coached both his sons, Jimmy and Buddy Boeheim. It's a family affair. Boeheim would become the winningest active coach in Division I basketball on April 2nd, 2022, after the retirement of Mike Krzyzewski. As a result of the Syracuse athletics scandal, which we'll talk about a little bit later in 2015, the NCAA vacated 101 of his wins. After suffering from cancer in 2001, Boeheim founded with his wife the Jim and Julie Boeheim Foundation, which is devoted to child welfare, cancer treatment, and prevention. Doesn't get better than that, Rob. No. True icon and hero and institution. We're going to see him actually do some real stand-up, classy shit in one particular game, which I'm really excited to talk about when we get there. But anyway, Rob, talk to us about the beginning, where this all started, 1944.
Let's wind it back a little bit. All right. Early life of Jim Boeheim. He was born in 1944 in a German-American family to parents Janet and James Boeheim Sr. in Lyons, New York, a small town about 57 miles west of Syracuse. His family owned a funeral home started by his great-grandfather in the mid-1800s, and he graduated from Lyons Central High School, where he starred for Coach Dick Blackwell's team. And I actually was able to pull in some newspaper articles, as I love to do, just to kind of fill in some gaps, because this is kind of the only information we got here. And he was a fucking star. He's like a star player from at least sophomore year, as we'll see. But first, I do have to read the first article I found that I think is about his dad.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure the timing works out and the location works. This is from the Hilton Record, July 23rd, 1931. Just to give some family history, Jim. Just some family history.
Yeah. The Boeheim tree.
Exactly. Jim Boeheim on July 3rd found a 10-pound pickerel floating in Sodus Bay, nearly dead, which is about a 20-minute drive north, Lake Ontario, from Lyons. So again, geographically, it lines up. This is probably his dad.
Sure.
Let's see. A lamprey eel was attached to his side and was the cause of the trouble. The lamprey eel is found in both fresh and salt water. The larger lampreys feed by attaching themselves to fish by means of their sucker-like mouth and biting flesh with their horny teeth. That's a weird choice of words. Jim Boeheim's lamprey was the first that ever came out of Sodus Bay. Lyons Press. So there you go.
Yeah.
Jim, of a legendary family. We got the first lamprey from his dad, and then his son would go on to do things almost as important as that.
Destined for greatness. The Boeheim family legacy is.
I didn't even catch that. So this was from the Hilton Record, but it came from Lyons Press. That's definitely his dad.
It's got to be, because it's not him.
Yeah,
it's not him.
He was not alive yet. All right, so let's go straight to Jim Jr., as it were. This first article is from 1960, the Chronicle Press, February 18th. PYA drops close one to Lions. Waterloo next. Let's see. Sophomore, this is how it starts. Sophomore Jim Boeheim again was the decisive factor as Lions remained in the battle for the Wayne Finger Lakes Conference Championship. A sophomore, leading the team. That's, that is headline news when that happens. Like it's not often, right? Boeheim scored in the final 5 seconds here last night to give Lions a 64-62 victory, a buzzer beater over Penn Yan. Am I saying that right? Penn Yan?
Yep.
Penn Yan in a tightly fought contest. At no point in the seesaw battle did either team enjoy more than a 5-point lead, and each club took turns holding the lead at the end of the quarters. But Penn Yan had the edge in the first 15-14 and third 47-44 periods, while Lions was on top where it counted at the half and final quarter. Lions won the game at the free throw line, where they made as many free throws as Penn Yan took during the game. Lions hit on 22 of 35 tries to offset Penn Yan's 24-21 edge in field goals. Let's see. Stu Jitter Carlson, back in scoring form again, poured in 31 points to lead Penn Yan's losing effort. Boeheim had 19 to pace Lions. After Boeheim had scored the winning basket, Penn Yan quickly came back to score, but the basket came after the final buzzer. I don't think I've ever seen that happen. That's crazy.
Yeah.
The victory was the 7th against 4 losses for Lions. Penn Yan's record is just the opposite. Man, that's the article, and all it talks about is Jim Boeheim, as far as the Lions team is concerned. And again, that's him as a sophomore.
That is roughly 16, 17 years old, I'd say.
Yep. Let's jump ahead to 1962. This is the Chronicle Express, January 11th. Lions mangles Mustangs. They were big and strong, and they simply out-rebounded us. Let's see, said Coach Ambrose Cook after Lions romped to a 80-36 victory over Penn Yan Friday night.
Holy shit.
Same team. Lions and Penn Yan. Led by Jim Boeheim, who made 14 out of 14 at the free throw line, and Gary Thompson with 19 points. The Lions got off to a 28-6 first period lead. Though Lions coach Dick Blackwell substituted freely, the Lions kept adding to their lead, staying in front 42-14 at halftime. Penn Yan,
Jesus Christ.
Dude, this is what we call blowout, man.
I don't know what you do if you're down if you're down like 30 some odd point, less than 30 points at the half. And
the other team is already putting in their bench players, freely rotating in. Oof, dude, that's embarrassing.
I guess you just play to have fun. That's it.
Yeah. Let's see. So they just kind of talk about this is the 5th straight win for Lions. Penn Yan has a 2-3 record for 4th place. Let's see. The Mustangs will be playing Waterloo on Friday. The boys should be ready to play a good game again, commented Cook. It doesn't sound like they played a good game.
Let's define good.
Friday. Yeah.
Let's get ahead of what that definition is.
That's for sure. So yeah, he had it seems like a pretty well regarded high school career. So let's jump now to his college career. So he enrolled in Syracuse University as a student in 1962 and graduated with a bachelor's degree in social science. During his freshman year, Boeheim was a walk-on with the freshman basketball team. By his senior year, he was the varsity team captain and a teammate of All-American Dave Bing. Yeah, that's a fun last name. I like that. All right.
I'm into it.
His freshman roommate. The pair led coach Fred Lewis's Orangemen to a 22-6 overall win-loss record that earned the team's second ever NCAA tournament berth.
That's kind of crazy, too.
That's a pretty great basketball record. That's insane. I don't know a ton about basketball, but I know that's a good record.
But you know numbers. If out of 28 games you've only lost 6,
yeah, that's
pretty fucking good.
Sure.
And to say, yeah, all right, kind of.
When you put it that way, Jim.
Yeah. When you synthesize these numbers as you have, you say, hey, out of 28 games, just 6 have lost. Yeah. And the second ever NCAA tournament berth, this is the second time they've been. That under his what do I want? I'm gonna take that over. They made it the second time ever while Jim was playing. That's fucking crazy.
It's not finding the first lamprey in Lake Ontario, but it's still pretty cool.
But what is, honestly, if we really think about the history of anything that anyone's done in the Boeheim family, I mean, that's the reason why he was so good, is he was just trying to meet that marker, I feel like.
All right, let's continue. Let's see. He played as a student at SU for 2 seasons, and in the 1970s served as the university's last golf coach. Okay. Wow. Actually, I did find a lot of articles. I didn't even throw them in because I didn't think they're relevant. A lot of golf tournament articles.
Sure.
About old Jimmy B. Let's see. After graduating, Syracuse, Boeheim played professionally with the Scranton Miners of the Eastern Professional Basketball League, during which he won 2 championships and was a second-team All-Star. While working as a graduate assistant, he earned a graduate degree from Syracuse in 1973. And I actually found a little article. This is from the Courier, Newark Courier Gazette, and from this is 1966, February 24th. Just kind of recapping a game, but a little part of it is about Jim. Jim Boeheim, who looked mighty impressive in Saturday's TV thriller at West Virginia, is hopeful of becoming a resident advisor at Syracuse University so he can help coach the freshman basketball team. The ex-Lions hoop whiz wants to get into the coaching field after graduation this June. So it's, he's already setting his sights on that in 66. In 1969, Jim is hired as a graduate assistant at Syracuse under Roy Danforth. Soon thereafter, he was promoted to a full-time assistant coach and was a member of the coaching staff that helped guide the Orangemen to the 1975 NCAA tournament, where Syracuse made its first Final Four appearance. Pretty good.
I would say.
Mm-hmm. Then in 76, Danforth left to become the head basketball coach and athletic director at Tulane University. A coaching search then led to naught, and Boeheim was promoted by athletic director Les Dye in a 3-2 split hiring decision to become Syracuse's 7th head coach. He won the first game against Harvard. That can't be that hard. By 20 points and finished the season with a 26-4 record and a Sweet 16 appearance. Again, great record. We now know 26-4. Pretty good. Pretty good. Let's see. Apart from his brief stint in the pros, Boeheim has spent his entire adult life at Syracuse, which is crazy.
That's crazy. To not only listen, people spend their entire lives in upstate New York. God knows I know millions of people who have. Sure. But to be Boeheim, right, and to really be someone who could go anywhere. He could have coached the pros, could have coached another school, could have gone anywhere, but said, "Nah, yo, I am committed to Syracuse, New York."
Yeah, no, that's something. That's something.
Commitment.
It's dedication. Let's see. So again, he's been there from being a student athlete from 62 to 66, assistant coach 69 to 76, and head coach 76 to 23, which is a crazy long run as a head coach too. Like, that's got to be one of the longest tenures I have got to imagine in the NCAA.
I would think so. I mean, as far as like the big coaches that I can think of, like, I mean, yeah, that's got to be up there.
I mean, in 2006, he had been there for 30 years, and then he went on for almost another 20. That's insane.
I feel like, yeah, Mike Krzyzewski like is maybe like a year shy of him.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's pretty nuts.
Yeah. Let's see. In 2018, CBSSports.com writer Mike Norlander emphasized this in a piece where he speculated on potential successors for Boeheim, stating, "Boeheim does not have a parallel in major college athletics. There has never been a Division I coach in men's basketball, women's basketball, or football who has spent more than 40 years at their alma mater and never coached anywhere else. Boeheim's the only one. There's no coaching figure more synonymous and literally affiliated with only one school."
Right. Like, yeah,
that is to say, this man eats for free anytime he goes out to eat.
Oh, listen, from my limited, intel of just like what life is like for Jim Boeheim in Syracuse. Yeah, he's a god. Like, there's a restaurant, I forget the name of it, where like he has a parking spot. Like, it's on, you know how like you have like
Sure.
a spray painted parking spot. Like, he has his own parking spot at one of his favorite restaurants in Syracuse. He doesn't get it. He is above the law.
Sure.
In Syracuse, New York. Let's be honest.
Must be nice. Let's see. Norlander also noted that Boeheim entered the 2018-19 season with nearly as many wins on his official coaching record and more when counting wins vacated by the NCAA than all of his predecessors combined. Holy shit. And his various roles at Syracuse had been involved in over half of all games in Syracuse's 114-year basketball history.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, even when you consider that he had those wins vacated, there's still how many others? A drop in the bucket. It seems like. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. In '86, Boeheim was offered a head coaching job at Ohio State, but turned it down to stay at Syracuse. Booyah, baby!
That's right,
why
baby.
would you? Why would you go to Ohio State? No.
Exactly.
They don't have garbage plates there. Wait, Syracuse. Syracuse doesn't have garbage plates. Jim,
No.
I'm going to leave that in to show that I'm fallible.
To show that you too can mix up to cities in upstate New York. It happens. They have salted potatoes in Syracuse.
I know. I was just going to say salt potatoes. Damn it. I'm going to have to go re-listen to our own episodes. That's going to be my punishment. There we go.
I wouldn't say that's a punishment, to be honest with you.
You know what? Throw another episode on there for that blunder.
For penance.
It's true. It's true. All right. During a Syracuse-Georgetown game in the early 80s, Hoyas star Patrick Ewing, I never know how to say his last name. Is it Ewing?
You got it. Yep.
Patrick Ewing was nearly struck by an orange and at times had endured racial taunts from the SU student section. I take that meaning not a player, but like someone threw an orange, right?
Yes.
Jesus.
He was almost struck by an orange, like the fruit.
Right. Boeheim borrowed a microphone and threatened to forfeit the game if fans continued to throw objects at Ewing. And this made him a real one. Yeah, that's
right. He said, "Cut this shit out right now, or we're done."
Yeah, dude.
That's integrity right there.
Indeed. Let's see. Boeheim's coaching style at Syracuse is unusual in that, whereas many highly successful coaches prefer the man-to-man defense, he demonstrates a preference for the matchup 2-3 zone. Oh, yeah, the matchup 2-3 zone. Yeah. I'm familiar. You familiar, Jim?
I am.
All right. You don't have to explain it to me.
Okay.
I know.
It's a he's made that pretty famous. The 2-3 zone. They often call it the Boeheim zone.
Let's just say, let's pretend I don't know what the 2-3 zone is. Well, what could you describe it for?
Sure. It's 3 players at the top of the key, and then 2 at the bottom. No, I'm sorry. Let me flip that. 2 at the top of the key, 3 at the bottom, and you have zones. So like it's a hybrid of like man-to-man defense and zone defense. So
okay. Now that does make sense.
If a player enters into your zone, you cover them, vice versa. But yes, it is the 2-3 zone.
Got it. All right. Having been fond of the zone, he implemented the defensive style early on, among others, but went almost exclusively to the zone only around 1996 in an exhibition game on November 7th, 2005, against D2 school St. Rose from Albany, New York. Boeheim was ejected for the first time in his career. Wow, that's something. Let's see. After arguing a call late in the first half in the Orange's 86-73 victory, he was also ejected from Cameron Indoor Stadium on February 22nd, 2014, against Duke after arguing a player control foul call.
Love it.
What was it?
Jim standing on business.
Really different from who's it? Bobby Knight, famous lunatic.
I mean, Bobby loved to throw a chair and choke a player once in a while. That was his jam.
That's true. That was his MO.
Now, I do want to. There is a update I do want to make as far as the 2-3 zone, and I had it right the first time. I should have trusted my gut. It's 2 player. I think I said 2 players at the top of the key and 3 at the bottom of the key. So,
Jim, we're just really proving today that we're both fallible.
Yeah, that we're human, that we make mistakes, and we're willing to own it.
Yep.
Willing to own it. And I would even double down on mine and saying that, like, I used to play basketball, and I should have remembered what a 2-3 zone is. But
Jim, we're just going to have to strike 100 episodes from our backlog. 114 episodes.
Vacate all of these episodes in proof that we're not, at least one of us is not an upstate New Yorker, that being me, because all this has been a lie. It's all a ruse. I am from downstate.
Oh my God.
Could you imagine that? If that was
deal? I think it would get some listens.
Yeah. Controversy would it would draw it in. Speaking of controversy,
oh my God,
let's talk about it.
That one was from Half Court, Jim. Wow.
That's right, man. I forget the player's name that was hitting those half-court shots, but he went on to become like a used car salesman, like mogul in the Syracuse area.
Sure.
God, I can't remember his name. Anyway, let's talk some NCAA violations and punishment.
Let's do it.
Because as much as we herald the success of Jimmy B, it is important that our duty as reporters on upstate New York that we tell the entire story. That is important to us here at Understanding Upstate. And away we go. On March 6th, 2015, the NCAA suspended Boeheim for the first 9 games of the 2015-16 ACC conference play and took away 12 scholarships over a 4-year period as a result of a multi-year investigation into the university's athletic programs. So this is like blue chips come to life. The program was forced to vacate a total of 101 wins from the 04-05, 05-06, 06-07, 2010-2011, and 2011-2012 seasons, which included any game during those years where one or more players were deemed to have been ineligible played. Whoopsie. This constitutes the third most wins ever permanently vacated by one program, behind the 113 wins vacated by Michigan and 123 wins by Louisville. 10 of the vacated wins were NCAA tournament games. However, the NCAA confirmed that sanctions did not include the removal of trophies or banners. Therefore, Syracuse displays banners for all of its NCAA appearances and conference titles from those years.
I mean, you can chisel a little asterisk onto the plaque.
yeah, you can embroider some asterisks on those pennants that hang up in the Carrier Dome. That's right, I call it the Carrier Dome. After 2 appeals, Boeheim's 9-game suspension was upheld, though he was permitted to begin the suspension prior to ACC conference play, as dictated in the original penalty. Additionally, the permanent vacation and erasure of the 101 wins was upheld. However, the number of scholarships lost by Syracuse was reduced by 8 over a 4-year period, down from 12 over the same period. Whoa, doggy. Planned departure, reversal, and eventual retirement. Boeheim announced in 2015 that he would retire in March 2018. However, following the departure of his longtime assistant coach and unexpected successor, Mike Hopkins, in 2017, as we talked about earlier, Boeheim's contract was extended by Syracuse beyond 2017 for an unknown period. Do this as long as you want, man. In 2017, when his son Buddy committed to play at Syracuse starting in 2018, he extended his contract to beyond the 2017-18 season. To be with his boy.
Sure.
Boeheim was replaced following the 22-23 season by former Syracuse point guard and assistant coach Adrian Autry. The New York Times reported that whether Boeheim had retired or been ousted was not immediately clear, but in a press conference a day later, Boeheim announced that he was thrilled to be retired.
I bet.
Yep, I'm out. Time to hang out on the Finger Lakes and drink Chardonnay. Boeheim stayed at Syracuse with a new job title as special assistant to the athletic director. Boeheim's legacy was noted by sports media. Peter Thamel noted that Boeheim left a complicated legacy, and his exit was far more fitting. Pat Ford called him an ultimate loyalist. That's an understatement. ESPN's McMenamin said his exit was an, quote, end of a coaching generation. While Syracuse Post-Standard's editorial board opined that Boeheim put Syracuse on the map. I wouldn't argue that. In 2023, it was announced that he would join the ACC Network studio show Nothing But Net as analyst, along with working with Wes Durfram as analyst for games. So a second act for old Jimmy B. You'll love to see it. Now, just when you thought it stopped at basketball, folks, Jimmy has been in the limelight. Boeheim appeared in the movie Blue Chips with Nick Nolte and some scrappy upstart player, Shaquille O'Neal, I don't know if you heard of him, playing himself. Boeheim also appeared in the Spike Lee movie He Got Game, again, playing himself. Easy scripts to remember.
Sure.
Boeheim has appeared in numerous commercials throughout Central New York and also had a spot in a nationwide Nike Jordan ad featuring former Syracuse great Carmelo Anthony. Boeheim has received criticism for his aggressive nature towards the press. That's fine. And often got into spats with beat writers. Great. In March 2021, he was criticized for mocking a reporter's height during a post-game press conference following a win against Clemson. Nah, he's perfect. How dare you? I won't entertain this slander of Jimmy B, who is an institution, man. It is the glue that held the Cuse together.
It sounds like it. Well, Jim, do you know what glue holds together this podcast?
I don't, but I want to.
Listeners who subscribe, rate, and review this show.
That makes sense. That makes sense to me.
That tracks, right? Right?
Yeah.
So, to help us hold it together, do one of those things. Do all of those things. It all helps. Share an episode with a friend, give us a 5-star rating and a positive review, and you can tell us what other coach from Syracuse we should talk about next.
Is there going to be any other one?
We can find out. Look, it sounds like we can talk about all of them on one single episode.
Listen, I'm just glad the goat got his flowers here, man.
No, for sure. For sure. Well, I'm glad that we're near the end of this episode because there's some great things we have to plug, Jim.
Man.
What do you got?
Oof. Well, listen, okay. Let's say you're in the 315 area code, right? You have just gone to Bricks. If you're in Syracuse, you had yourself a drink or two. You went over to the Dinosaur Barbecue, had some food. Then you took in an Orange game and you saw Jim Boeheim expertly navigate the team to a victory. And you're riding high. You are living the dream. You've laid down some serious money on the game and you fucking won. And you've got cash for days. Well, here's how you're going to spend it. You are going to buy a copy of my album, Upstate Understandings, which is available at jimsearch.bandcamp.com. Also some very sick merch over there, too. It's also available on all digital streaming platforms. Go run that up. Go run those numbers up to the sky. Also, jimsearchcomedy.com is a good place to find my shows and all that fun stuff. Speaking of shows, I have a show coming up March 28th. Stellar presents, as I talked about earlier. I bookend it, folks. It's going to be 159 Washington Street in Binghamton, New York. Doors are at 6:30. Show is at 7. I'm going to headline it. Josh Alba's going to feature, and Stephen Brown is going to host. It's going to be a dope time. Tickets are $25 at the door, $20 on Eventbrite. Go get those tickets on Eventbrite. Save yourself some money, man. That's my advice to you, man. Now, Rob,
yes,
I have given these folks everything they need to know about what Jim Search has in store, but they still have discretionary income.
Oh my gosh!
What on earth could they do with it? What could they do with it?
I have a suggestion. I think let's just say it's July 4th, 4th of July, 1931, and you, my friend, are fishing in Sodus Bay of Lake Ontario, and you pull out a pickerel that's got the biggest goddamn lamprey, and actually the first lamprey you've ever laid eyes on. You're super excited. You go home. You even tell the local newspaper, who then tells you, sorry, buddy, Jim Boeheim Sr. pulled one out yesterday. You're dismayed. You don't know what to do. You thought you were going to be talked about on a podcast almost 100 years later.
Sure.
You're bummed. You're going to think about an album that will also almost come out 100 years later called New York Sticky, available at brooklynfrequency.bandcamp.com. You're going to play it in your mind, or present day, you could go and buy it, listen to it. It's a great instrumental album. It's not as nearly as goofy as the pitch I just made for purchasing it, but it's a little goofy. I think it's fair to say. So go check that out. Also check out our documentary, which is a behind-the-scenes look at the making of Jim's album. It's available for free on YouTube. It's a nice, breezy 30-minute watch, and it's, Jim, dare I say, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, I feel like that's fair to say. You're well within your right to say that. Because it is. It's a fucking great ride, man.
Hey, do you know what is also going to be a great ride?
Tell me.
Next week's episode. Do you have a hint for what it might be next week?
Oh, man. Listen, I know one thing. We're going to be upstate, and I promise you we will not run the light on that episode.
I like it. That's like a little inside baseball. Or inside basketball. I don't know.
I mean, whichever sport you want to be inside of, that's fine.
Sure.
I'm not going to be too picky about that.
I like it though. All right, Jim. This is definitely a never before said closing pun here. Are you ready for it?
All right. Go for it.
Got some NCAA banners up in the rafters that I got to add an asterisk to, so let's get on out of here.
Ooh. That hurts.
I'll edit it out.
Nah, keep it in, man. Fuck that shit. Bye.
Perfect.
Understanding Upstate is a podcast hosted by Jim Search and Rob Adler, edited by Rob Adler, and music from Regal Monk.